There are many WWE game classics that absolutely deserve a revival, whether it's through a remake or a remaster, and let's be honest, it's about time. These beloved wrestling titles have been locked away from players due to a bunch of issues. We're talking about a headache of backwards compatibility, companies dropping the ball on implementation, and the annoyance of licensing that have kept us from reliving the good old days, whether it's wrestling games or any of our favorite video games. But there's always something that stops us from playing our classics in a modern setting. This usually leads to us dusting off our old consoles or emulating the games. But picture this scenario, a world where all those obstacles magically disappear. In this video, we're going to be doing a ton of wishful thinking and running through the top 5 WWE games that deserve a remake or remaster treatment. And as we all know, remakes and remasters have become incredibly popular in the video game scene since the PS4 era and continuing on the PS5 era. So let's give wrestling games a spotlight now and jump into the first game. But just before we do that, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we upload a video. Number 1. Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. Well, let's kick things off with a game that's been on the minds and lips of WWE gaming fans everywhere. The one and only Smackdown Here Comes the Pain. I mean, seriously, if there's ever been a WWE game that deserves the ultimate treatment of a remake or remaster, it's this legendary title. And honestly, who can blame fans for clamoring to get their hands on it once more? Smackdown Here Comes the Pain brought a level of excitement to the ring that has simply never been matched again. With its iconic gameplay, a star-studded roster that measures up to any WWE game out there right now, and a season mode that kept us hooked for hours on end, this game was the absolute peak of WWE gaming perfection. Now, it's safe to say that we haven't hit the same heights as Smackdown Here Comes the Pain, but we've had some good games for sure, but nothing has come close to it. And now here's the kicker, ever since the PS3 removed the PS2 backwards compatibility, it's been an uphill battle to officially play Smackdown Here Comes the Pain on modern consoles. But the desire to revisit this classic has never waned. In fact, it's gained such a huge following that even WWE superstars themselves have joined the many voices calling for a remake of this iconic game. That's right, it's not just fans, even superstars of the WWE are wanting to see this being done. And guess what, WWE seems to be catching on to the fever with them posting videos about the game's popularity on social media platforms. Could this be a sign that they're gearing up for a remaster that lets us unleash the pain once again, this time on the PS5? Only time will tell, but let's just say we're keeping our fingers crossed. And if that's not exciting enough, PlayStation has been dishing out some PS2 classics through their PlayStation Plus offerings. Could this be the perfect combination that gives us the chance to finally relive the magic of this legendary WWE game on modern consoles? We can only hope. Maybe WWE could even go one step further and request a full remake from 2K. The possibilities are just endless. Number 2. WWF No Mercy. Just like there was Stone Cold vs The Rock, you also had Smackdown Here Comes the Pain vs No Mercy, as they were the two giants when it came to classic wrestling games. No Mercy marked the end of an era as the last wrestling game on the N64, and it was a final wrestling title crafted by Akai for the WWE franchise back in the year 2000. After No Mercy, Akai went on to develop another classic wrestling video game in Def Jam Vendetta. Akai's departure from WWE gaming scene left a void that was felt instantly. In fact, the term No Mercy's spiritual successor didn't pop up recently, it's been around for ages. If you can believe it, the first WWE game on the GameCube, WrestleMania 18, hit the shelves less than 2 years after No Mercy and was heavily marketed as a spiritual successor to the beloved N64 classic. THQ and Yuke's even went the extra mile by recruiting some of the developers from Akai who worked on No Mercy to contribute to this new series. That's a testament to how amazing No Mercy was. It had spiritual successors emerging barely a year and a half after its release. This continued praise for No Mercy is a testament to how much players enjoyed the game and wanted to play it once again. Numerous attempts to resurrect it in a modern era have fallen short so far, so why not give the fans what they've been clamoring for, a remaster that stays true to the original but receives a boost in terms of visuals and performance. And just like the PlayStation 2's classics option, the Nintendo Switch also offers a similar selection of N64 classics. What if by some stroke of magic, No Mercy were to find its way into the N64 lineup on the Nintendo Switch? Now that would be a dream for all wrestling game fans. Number 3. Smackdown vs Raw 2011. Now let's shift our focus onto a more modern classic that's been gaining even more appreciation as the years roll on, Smackdown vs Raw 2011. This title marked the end of the Smackdown vs Raw era, but oh man, did it go out with a bang. It introduced the game-changing Universe mode where WWE Universe was at your fingertips, and the Road to WrestleMania mode allowed for some free roaming action. Not to mention, TLC matches were absolutely crazy with brand new physics, and a Hell in a Cell received its first major update in 8 long years. In essence, this game was the ultimate WWE experience of its time. For many, Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 was their equivalent of the beloved classics such as Here Comes the Pain or No Mercy. Now, the dream scenario we're discussing here involves making this game playable once more on modern consoles. However, there is an issue in the former Xbox decision to put the brakes on its backwards compatibility program without adding the Xbox 360 Classic to the list of playable titles. And as with every game on our list, the hurdles are continuous, from the licensing complexities to the fact that 2K, the current WWE game publisher, had no involvement in titles like these. Still, picture it, a reimagining of Smackdown vs. Raw 2011 with updated visuals and top-notch performance. The potential for bringing back this beloved modern classic is an exciting thought that should surely have fans of the era buzzing with excitement. Number 4. WWE 2K14. Now let's talk about the game that actually has 2K fingerprints all over it, 2K14. And here's the good news, 2K14 is a fantastic game that deserves remake or /remaster treatment. But here's the not so good news, 2K hasn't shown much interest in giving this legendary title the recognition it truly deserves. Frankly, it feels that 2K as a franchise is content to move on to the next game as soon as the newest installment hits the shelves, as evidenced by online servers dropping not long after a new release. But just imagine if 2K started showing some love for the classics. 2K14 stands out because it's the only game in the 2K series right now that isn't available in some form of backwards compatibility. While every game from 2K15 to 2K23 can be played on the PS5, 2K14 remains an exception. What if 2K made the entire series playable on a single console? Yeah, it might seem like a long shot, but it's a dream that fans would love to see made a reality. There's an abundance of content in 2K14 that fans are dying to relive, especially the legendary 30 years of Wrestlemania mode. And if there's no 40 years of Wrestlemania mode on the horizon, then 2K14 becomes the only way to truly relive this iconic Wrestlemania moments. It's really frustrating that this classic can't be experienced on modern consoles when we think about it. But also consider the possibility of 2K14 receiving the full remake treatment. That would be nothing short of awesome. 2K14 was 2K's explosive entry into the franchise, even though it was built on THQ's foundation at the time. Regardless of its origins, it was a 2K game, and it was spectacular. Who wouldn't be thrilled to see Wrestlemania remade with the power of current-day consoles? And number 5, Legends of Wrestlemania. Here's a game that stands out on our list for a different reason. It's not exactly considered a great WWE game, but it had a truly incredible idea and premise. We're talking about Legends of Wrestlemania. In many ways, it was a more detailed and meticulously crafted take on the concept of 30 years of WrestleMania. It delved deeper into the iconic WrestleMania moments and followed them more faithfully than what 2K14 did. Legends of WrestleMania also introduced a mode that was forgotten by fans, the Rewrite mode. This feature allowed players to step into the shoes of the other side in classic WrestleMania matches and rewrite history by emerging victorious. A What If mode is a concept that's been discussed and desired for quite some time in the 2K community. The only problem, and it's a big one, the gameplay. It simply didn't live up to the potential of the concept. So what we're dreaming of here isn't just a remaster of a less than stellar game, no, we're aiming higher, a full remake done right. A properly executed Legends of Wrestlemania could be an absolute game changer and one of the standout WWE 2K releases in recent memory. The ball is in the developer's court and we're hoping that they'll give it a shot. What do you guys think of these remakes? Let us know in the comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.